Welcome to the Omega Museum, celebrating the pioneering legacy of Omega watchmaking. Before you venture into our world, we would like to share with you the fascinating story of measuring time throughout history. Time never stops. Time is like a flowing stream. It can race past or seem endless. But time is also a constant that can be measured very accurately by the day, the hour, and the second. Since the dawn of civilization, humans have measured time by gazing at the sun and the starry night in the heavens above. Seemingly revolving like clockwork across the skies, these heavenly bodies would naturally mark the passage of time. For thousands of years, the Egyptians used the shadow of an obelisk to record and measure the time of day. The Egyptian obelisk evolved into the sundial, combining the apparent movement of the sun across the skies during the day with observations of the stars. The Egyptians divided the day into 24 hours. 12 hours of daytime and 12 hours of night. The ancient Egyptians also used the flow of water to measure time. Some believe the water clock was invented 6,000 years ago in ancient China. But the oldest known example was found at the Temple of Karnak in Upper Egypt and is 3,500 years old. Water clocks cannot tell the time of day, but they are very accurate in measuring elapsed time, like stopwatches of antiquity. A water clock is quite simple. A clock with markings on the inner side, and a hole at the bottom that lets the water flow out. As the water table slowly lowers, elapsed time can be read by counting the markers. 3,000 years after the invention of the water clock, the ancient Greeks were still refining the time mechanism. Even the classical philosopher Plato is believed to have devised a water-based alarm clock to keep his students on their toes. He added a tube to the water vessel to form a siphon. When the tube was filled, the water would gush into another vessel in the slit, making it whistle like a steaming kettle. Sometimes simple ideas come from great minds. The Chinese not only used water clocks, but also devised methods using combustion to measure time, such as candle and incense clocks. The earliest reference to a candle clock is in a poem by Yu Zhangqiu, 1,500 years ago. Such candles were inscribed with hour graduations, marking the passage of time under a constant flame. The most refined of the early Chinese clocks was nevertheless water-driven, such as the earliest example of an astronomical clock. It was the first clock in history to have a mechanical chain drive, yet it relied on water as its natural source of power. Devised almost 1,000 years ago by Chinese polymath Su Song, the clock would demonstrate the apparent movement of the heavenly bodies. Monasteries in medieval Europe were places of pious prayer. Here, monks dedicated their time to mechanical watchmaking to help them time their hours of worship. One of the world's oldest mechanical clocks is that of England's Salisbury Cathedral. Rope-hanging weights power the timepiece by the pull of gravity, and a train of gears ensures the energy is released evenly to create a repetitive motion called oscillation, the heartbeat of a clock. Such early barrel clocks marked a seismic shift from measuring time by continuous processes such as the flow of water to the magic of mechanics. Humans can now standardize timekeeping by the day, the hour, the minute, and the second.